Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys how to make a really simple platformer. Just the basic elements, not none of the guys or anything, but basically to have a man running along a platform or multiple platforms and being able to jump. So as you can see, I've got my game right here. I've made two sprites. I've made a guy, just a happy face guy. You can always make one of any kind you like. And I've made a block, just a square block. And then I've attached each of those to an object. Now the important thing with object block is that you've checked this solid checkbox right here. When it's solid, then when our man runs along it, it'll actually recognize it as a solid object. Okay. Now all of our scripts are in object guy, and so in here there's a few things we want to do. So add an event, create. So I've made a create event, and in that create event, that's the moment the game starts. He's created. We're going to set the friction to being 0.3. And the friction block is right there. And then you can always make it, 0.2 or 0.5, something around there. And then set gravity. That block is right here, so I dragged it in. Direction is 270 degrees. That's straight down. So that means he's going to move down, and make it about anywhere between 0.5 and 0.8. All right. Now, when we I've made a collision block, collision event. So what I did is I went collision, object block. It puts that right there. And what I did is set the vertical speed to 0. That block is right here. Drag that in. And you want to set to 0 because otherwise he'll fall right through the blocks and go all the way off the screen. Then, when you push the left button, we're going to use a jump to position using this block right there. Relative -10 on our x as our horizontal movement, left and right. And when you push the right button on the keyboard, then it goes +10. Now, if you haven't made the keyboard events, if you go to add event, keyboard, left and right are right there, as well as up. Now for up, we actually want to use the key press instead. And the reason why that is if you did the other one, then as long as you held up, you'd basically be able to fly all through the sky. So we want key press so that even if you're holding the up button, it'll only respond the first time you push it. Right? And in there, I've put a conditional, which is under control right there. Check object. So check if object block is 2 pixels below. When +2 on our Y, that's below, that's down, actually lower than our guy. Relative to where he is. If there's an object block 2 pixels below him, then set our vertical speed to -10. -10 is actually on our Y is up. All right. And so that means that you can only jump when you're on a block, when there's a block 2 pixels below you. If you didn't put that conditional in, you'd be able to jump and jump and jump and jump as many times as you like. All right. So that's pretty much all of those. Now I've put another conditional in here on the left and right to check if there's an object block. If there's not an object block 4 pixels to the left of him, then let him move. All right. Otherwise, not. Right. Okay. And now finally, the last thing I need to show you is the room. So if we open up the room, okay. Now I've made this room 9,000 pixels wide and about 700 high. Okay. The important thing with a platformer is that we make the room really, really wide, but then we enable views. So here I've enabled view. Make sure you check visible when room starts. And then view in room and view and port on screen should be the same. I made them about 1,000, and I made the height the same as the size of the room. So that means that my game is about 9 rooms width. Rooms wide. Okay. So then I expand this out, and back with my objects, object block. So I've already made a bunch of blocks, and I've made it go all the way around. Now there's something going messed up with my refresh here, but that doesn't affect. That hopefully doesn't affect you. What I can also do is if I go to object block, I can make another little platform. Right there for him to jump onto. And there, we'll push play and see how it goes. Alright, so there's my game. When I use my left and right, he's moving left and right. Jump. Now the jump is a little small, so if I want to be able to jump on my platform, I'm going to have to increase my vertical speed, or actually decrease it, make it more like -20 or something like that. But there we go.